It is 30 BC in Alexandria. Roman soldiers shatter the night's silence, violently breaching a locked royal mausoleum. Inside, they expect to find a panicked queen. Instead, they discover a chillingly pristine crime scene. Cleopatra and her two closest handmaidens lie perfectly still on the stone ground, showing zero signs of a physical struggle. For 2 millennia, official Roman history has repeated a singular explanation. The Roman story claims that Cleopatra smuggled a venomous asp inside a basket of fash figs to end her life. But modern biology tells a different story. An Egyptian cobra bite is excruciating. It triggers severe muscle spasms, aggressive vomiting, and intense, paralyzing pain. The deep, serene peace found in that room directly contradicts the biological reality of venom. There was also a massive logistical flaw. A single snake would have to strike and fatally poison 3 grown women in rapid succession, all without causing a struggle or a single scream. The official narrative simply doesn't hold up to scrutiny. To uncover how these women actually died, we have to look past the Roman propaganda and find the emotional catalyst that triggered their final night. That catalyst centers directly on Mark Antony. He was the queen's ultimate military defense and her absolute closest trusted confidant. But with Octavian's Roman forces closing in on Alexandria, Antony's resolve begins to crack. In the chaos of the siege, a devastating piece of misinformation reaches him. Antony is told that Cleopatra has already killed herself. Hearing that his partner is gone instantly erodes his will to keep fighting. Antony immediately attempts to take his own life by falling on his sword, but the strike is not instantly fatal. He lies bleeding on the floor, eventually learning the queen is still alive. Desperate to reach her, his servants drag him to her mausoleum, where Cleopatra uses heavy ropes to hoist his dying body through an upper window. Covered in blood, Antony is laid across Cleopatra's lap. He takes his final, ragged breaths wrapped tightly in her arms, inside the very stone tomb she built for herself. Antony's death left Cleopatra exposed. Without her final military protector, she was forced to confront Octavian's forces with no remaining leverage. The Roman general closing in on her had a specific objective. Octavian needed Cleopatra kept alive at all costs, so he could parade her through the streets of Rome, bound in chains, as a trophy of his conquest. Cleopatra deduced this plan during a brief face-to-face meeting with him. She looked directly into his eyes and saw only greed. She saw a man calculating the political value of her humiliation. But Octavian severely underestimated his captive. Cleopatra was a polyglot who spoke 9 languages. She had spent a lifetime studying the natural sciences, astronomy, and chemistry. She also commanded deep loyalty from her handmaidens, Iras and Charmion. When the end came, these women weren't following an execution order. They were choosing to die alongside her sovereign. Faced with public shaming, Cleopatra turned to her understanding of chemistry and the unwavering commitment of her servants. This combination of scientific skill and personal loyalty ensured she could control her final moments on her own terms. This brings us to the first viable forensic explanation for the locked room. In 2010, toxicologist Dr. Christoph Schaefer proposed that Cleopatra utilized a highly specific poison cocktail rather than a snake. This diagram shows exactly how that theoretical mixture would work. It blends opium, hemlock, and aconite. Together, these elements suppress the central nervous system, inducing a painless descent into a deep sleep. It accounts for their serene expressions. But there is a glaring lack of physical evidence. Roman guards scoured the room, yet absolutely no cups, glass vials, or traces of poison were ever recovered. This vacuum of evidence has led some historians to point toward a darker alternative. It suggests that Octavian himself orchestrated the murders inside that room. Keeping a charismatic, fiercely intelligent queen alive in Rome was a massive political risk. Under this theory, Octavian dispatched an assassin and manufactured the snakebite myth to cover his tracks and avoid public backlash. Whether she engineered a flawlessly untraceable chemical cocktail or Octavian ordered a covert hit, the physical truth was buried beneath an avalanche of Roman political spin. Which takes us right back to the moment those doors swung open. As the Roman soldiers rushed past the bodies of Cleopatra and Iris, they noticed the second handmaiden, Charmion. She was still on her feet, swaying as the toxin took its final hold. One of the stunned guards yelled out, asking if everything here was fine. Charmion looked at him, smiled, and delivered her historic final words, exactly right and fitting for a great queen. Then she collapsed. The morning of her death shifted the balance of power in the Mediterranean. Octavian consolidated his rule, Caesarion was hunted down to eliminate any rival heir, and 3,000 years of pharaonic rule came to an end as Egypt became a Roman province. Octavian reportedly wept as he looked at the bodies, a reaction of pure, helpless frustration. Even with a kingdom in his grasp, he realized he had failed to secure the one living trophy he needed to validate his victory in Rome. Cleopatra lost her kingdom and her life, but her final hours prove that power is often dictated by the terms you choose to accept. Cornered in a locked room, she looked at total defeat and decided to script her own ending, denying the most powerful man in the world his victory.